All right, let's see how to do this question. So it has been told to us, Jayani has X number of rupees 50 stamps and Y number of rupees 10 stamps. All right, so that we have written that the total value of the stamps. So how do we find the total value of the stamps? The total value of the stamps would be equal to what? Value of 50 rupee stamps addition value of 10 rupee stamps. So now let's plug in the values. What's the total value? 1340. And now how would we find the value of 50 rupee stamps? Now for a while, assume Jayani has two 50 rupee stamps. Then how would you find the value of them? 50 plus 50, or is 50 times 2. So what does that mean? To find the value of 50 rupee stamps, what you got to do is you got to multiply 50 by the number of stamps or number of 50 rupee stamps she got, which is X. Now, since it's the total, you put the addition sign and value of 10 rupee stamps. How would we find 10 times the number of 10 rupee stamps she has? What is it? It's Y. So it's 10 times Y. So now what do we have? We have 1340 equals. What is 50 times X? That's 50X. Plus, what's 10 times Y? That's 10Y. All right, so we formed the first equation. Normally, when we write equations, we write the letters in the left and the number in the right. So let's do the same thing for this. It is not a compulsory step, but just to make it beautiful. 50x plus 10y is equal to 1340, and that's our first equation. So let's label it as number 1. Equation number 1. All right. All right. So now we got to generate or we got to form another equation. Let's go further reading. The total value of the stamps is rupees 1340. All right. Using that fact, we have already formed an equation. So let's read further. And there are 30 stamps in total. All right. There are 30 stamps in total. Now, that is something can be used to form an equation. So let's write it. Total number of stamps. Total number of stamps. What is it equal to? How do we find the total number of stamps? There are two types of stamps. So we have to take the addition of those two types of stamps. What are those? 50 rupee stamps and 10 rupee stamps. So total number of stamps would be equal to what? Number of 50 rupee stamps plus y plus, because you're trying to find the total, plus the number of 10 rupee stamps. All right, now let's plug in the values. Total number of stamps, has it been given to us? Yes, it has been given to us. It has been told there are 30 stamps in total. So you put 30. What is 30 equal to? Number of 50 rupee stamps plus the number of 10 rupee stamps. So first, let's figure out what's the number of 50 rupee stamps. Have they given us a numerical value? No, right? But they have given us a letter. Let's put that. What is it? X. It is X plus the number of 10 rupee stamps. Has it been given to us? No numerical value, but they have given us a letter. Number of 10 rupee stamps equals Y. So what do we write? Y. So now we have formed the second equation. Let's make it a bit more beautiful. How do you make it beautiful? Normally we write the letters in the left and the number in the right. So same thing can be written as what? X plus y equals to what? 30. And this is our equation number 2. All right. So now we got to solve this pair of simultaneous equations. We have equation number 1 and equation number 2. So it's a pair of simultaneous equations. So let's see how to solve them. So now what I've done is I have written both the equations one under the other. Now to solve this pair of simultaneous equations, we got two methods. What are those? One method is called method of substitution, and the other method is called method of elimination. So the first method I'm going to discuss is method of substitution. So let's see how to use the method of substitution to find out the values of x and y. So how do we do? First, we got to find out using equation number 2, we can find out what is y in terms of x. So using equation 2 to find y in terms of x. All right. So what's equation 2? X plus y equals 30. Then what would y be equal to? Y would be equal to 30 and the x to be put to other side. Why? Because we are trying to find y in terms of x. So we got to isolate y. Now, what's x's sign? When there's no sign to be seen here, so when you don't see a sign, what's the sign? It's a plus. So plus x goes other side. What does it become? It becomes a minus x. So what is y equal to? 30 minus x. Now, some of you may be wondering, why did he find y in terms of x? What about doing the other way around, finding x in terms of y? Yes, that's also possible. Up to you. You can either isolate y or x. Both are fine. All right. So what did I do? I found y in terms of x. And now what can we do? We can use this y value. So what is it? We can substituting y equals 30 minus x in equation. Use the equation that was not used to find y. So to find y, which equation did you use? You used the equation number 2. So which one was not used? Equation number 1. So substitute y's value into equation 1. So substituting y equals 30 minus n x in equation 1. So what's equation 1? 50x plus 10y equals 1340. So what do you do next? 50x plus. Now what does 10y mean? 10y means 10 times y. So 10 times, what do you write? Don't write y. Instead, what you write is something equal to y. You have found out something equal to y. What is it? Y equals what? 30 minus x. So you replace this blue y with what? Something equal to it, 30 minus x. Now, when I write in this way, Do you notice or do you feel a mistake has been done here? I feel there is a mistake. All right, what's the mistake? Now, if you simply write 30 minus x in this way, only 30 gets multiplied by 10. But is that the requirement? No, right? See, the entire y is getting multiplied by 10. So what's y? Is it 30? No, no. What's y? 30 minus x. So the entire 30 minus x has to get multiplied by y. So the entire 30 minus x has to get multiplied by 10. So what do you do? How do you make sure it gets multiplied? The entire thing get multiplied by 10? You got to write 30 minus x within brackets. So y's value should be written within brackets so that the entire thing will get multiplied by 10 in the next step is equal to 1340. So now what do we have? We got 50x. All right, now it's time to remove the brackets. Plus 10 times 30. What is plus 10 times 30? That gives us plus 300. Now plus 10 times minus x. So plus into minus is minus. 10 times x is 10x is equal to 1340. All right, now what can we do? We can simplify the left-hand side of the equation. How is that possible? I see like terms. What are those? 50x minus 10x. So they'll interact. So 50x minus 10x, when they interact, what do we get out? We get out, or what's the result? 50x minus 10x is 40x. So 40x is equal to 1340. And let's chase the plus 300 to the other side. So when addition 300 goes to other side, what does it become? It becomes subtraction 300. All right. All right. So now what do we have? We got 40x equals what is 1340 minus 300. That's 1040. So how do we find x now? What we are supposed to find out is x. So chase everything else to the other side. So who's the troublemaker? Who is troubling x? Who is with x? That's 40. So chase him to the other side. So 1040. Now how is 40 connected to x? What's the operation between 40 and x? There's a hidden multiplication. 40x means 40 times x. So multiplication goes other side. What does it become? The inverse of multiplication. And what's the inverse of multiplication? The opposite of multiplication is division. So division, divide by what? The same number, that's 40. So x is equal to 1040 divided by 40. So what can we do? We can cancel the zeros. So this zero cancelled. 104. 104 divided by 4. What would that be? That's going to be 26. So now we have found out x's value. So now we got to find out. Now we got to find out y's value. Y's numerical value. So how do we find out what's y is? There are multiple methods to find out y's value. So we can substitute x's value to equation number 1, equation number 2, or as we already know what's y is. What is y in terms of x? Y equals 30 minus x. So we can use one of these three. So I'll use the third one, that is not the 30. What we found out for y, what is y in terms of x, that's what I'm going to use. But there's nothing stopping you from using equation number 1 or 2. You can use anything that you wish. So substituting, y x equals 26 in any of the equations. You can put number 1, number 2, or y equals 30 minus x, up to you. So I'll use y equals 30 minus x. All right. So what is it? We know y is equal to 30 minus x. So what would y be equal to then? 30 minus, we know the x's value. What is x's value? It is 26. So y equals 30 minus 26, that's 4. All right, so we have found out x's value and we also have found out y's value.